Hello and welcome to the Monday, February 3rd, 2025 edition of the SANS Internet Storm Center's Stormcast. My name is Johannes Ulrich and I'm recording from Jacksonville, Florida. If you have ever built a home lab, a cyber range, or maybe a little malware analysis system, aside from setting up the basic systems around it, installing operating systems and the like, one of the challenges sometimes is to adapt the particular lab to a specific task, like setting up domains, IP address, and the like, to kind of simulate a little internet, for example, to act as command control servers for any malware that you're detonating inside the lab. Well, Richard set up a number of PowerShell scripts to accomplish some of that. He will write a few diaries about this. The first that he just published deals with DNS settings, how to configure host names and the like in this lab. It's a PowerShell script, so for everybody here who likes to set this up in Windows, perfectly suited also to set up Active Directory and the like to match whatever environment you would like to emulate. Real neat little tool, so take a look at it and provide any feedback to Richard. And there's still quite a bit of talk about security issues around Deepseek. I mentioned last week how some of their backend databases leaked. Of course, one of the problems they're struggling with is dealing with the increased search and traffic that they are receiving. They allege that there may also be some denial of service attack involved. Now, as a result, they apparently have sort of reworked their infrastructure a little bit that led to some issues, at least over the weekend, I noticed, where they had a bad certificate. The reason the certificate was marked as bad was it was actually issued by Huawei Cloud. I'm not sure if in China that's considered a trusted certificate, but at least my browsers and the Common Certificate Authority database does not include this particular certificate authority. Since then, this has been fixed. It's now actually hosted behind Cloudflare and appears to be using a certificate issued by Google, at least when I'm connecting to it here from the US. Now, all of this confusion and the limited availability has also opened the door somewhat for scammers. There have been apparently a number of scam lookalike websites and such, essentially phishing, that was used to distribute malware. The trick that these websites are implementing is that they use a lookalike website of Deepseek. So the site looks pretty much like Deepseek, with one important difference. On the real Deepseek.com website, well, to actually get started playing with the AI model, you click on Start Now. That part is replaced on the fake website with a download option. And of course, that then leads you to a malware. As always, if something hits the news big like this, in particular if they're struggling with keeping the site up, that's always something that attackers are paying attention to, and definitely something that you need to be ready for, and also something probably to share with your users that want to play with tools like this. And PyPi announced that they're introducing a new project state for developers. Developers are now able to mark projects as archived. The meaning behind archived is just that, well, the project is no longer being maintained. There are no longer any updates to be expected for this project. As is, the project can, of course, still be used, but people should probably migrate to something else. Developers are encouraged, before they archive a project, to release a final release that explains a little bit why the project is being archived and maybe what to do next if you don't want to use this particular library. But overall, it looks like a nice step in the right direction. They're working sort of on more of these states of projects that developers are able to use to indicate essentially what's the exact sort of support status of a particular project. And the FDA as well as CISA warned about an interesting backdoor in the Comtec Health CMS 8000 Patient Monitor. I was a little bit wondering whether or not I should include this story because it's a fairly limited audience here that, basically hospitals and such that may be running this particular patient monitor. But I think this event has a bit sort of further reaching implications. One of the things I do want you to consider is to read through the indicators of compromise here, particular methods being used to implement that backdoor, and then think about how you would detect a similar backdoor in a device on your network, whether it's a medical device or any other kind of device, and what kind of capabilities you have to essentially do a fingerprinting of a device to figure out what particular connections are normal for this device and which connections may raise concern. In this particular case, the connection actually went to China, which I think did substantially contribute to the detection of the backdoor. In many cases, may not be the case, where just a US-based cloud provider is being used here in order to implement a backdoor like this. So try to figure out, do you know what IP addresses your devices routinely connect to? Well, and this is it for today. So thanks for listening and talk to you again tomorrow.